Okay. Hey everybody. Welcome to MT Guitar. Thanks for joining us today. It's been a minute since we had a live stream, so I thought we'd have a nice little lesson today on practice and warm-up routine. Kind of a big topic, right? So we're gonna scratch the surface. I'm gonna give you some details and some nitty-gritty ideas that are you can practice right away. I'm also going to give you a couple other ways to look at a practice routine that may be beyond the scope of what we can cover now, but things to think about. I think practice routine and warm-up routine is something that's always kind of evolving. I know that it's changed for me. I hear different artists and guitar players and musicians talk about their routine, and it kind of depends on what you're working on, also your level of playing, and it's going to be a different thing for you if you're a beginner than if you're advanced, right? So that's kind of what I'll talk about. I'll try to cover the basis. All right, hello, Gudu plays guitar. So as normal, we'll ease into the lesson here as people come on the stream. If you notice the thumbnail, you'll notice that I've done a little bit of whiteboard prep here. So we're going to go through this. As is typical with me, I kind of ran out of room because I have a lot of ideas. So it's not always easy to fit it on this board, but we'll do our best. So. Let's keep noodling along while people come in, because we've only got 3 people right now. Hey everybody. Hello Sasha, hello Tim. Good night from Ukraine. All right, thank you for joining us. Hey Tim. So, how's everyone doing? Feel free to drop a line and ask questions as we go. Let's make this an interactive thing, interactive lesson. Let's jump right in. And feel free to leave your comments on what your practice routine is. I'm interested to hear. So, we've got this whiteboard here. So let me do a close-up on it. All right, so we're going to go through all this today. I know you can't see that very well. What I'll do is I'll post a full, gosh darn it, I'll post a full lesson on the Patreon in the time to come here. And we're going to go through each of these now as well, but I'm going to post a complete tab on the Patreon at the $5 a month level. So you're welcome to check that out and see if that'll be right for you. Probably will post within a few days. I'm going to be doing more music theory on the Patreon. Do I play in the band? Sasha's asking. Yes, I play in a few bands. I'm in a band called Titanic. We're a cover band. We play weddings, parties, gigs, bars, clubs. We're booked like once a week usually. It's a lot of fun. We play R&B, funk, soul, that kind of stuff. Dance music, basically. I play in a band called the Sasha Stone Band, which is a singer-songwriter group. I play bass in it. I also have my band, Mitchell Thomas Experience, which is my original music. I've got 2 albums out. You can check my website to get links to those. I also just left a band called Southern Fried, which is a country southern rock band. Played a lot of gigs with them for the last couple of years. We just played Cheyenne Frontier Days, which was pretty huge. Thousands of people, 3 nights. Just a little too far for me. I'm in Colorado and they were in Wyoming. And then I was in another band that also just broke up. So that's kind of how it goes with bands. Okay, well, not many people are here, so I'm fine to just teach to the few of you that are. So I guess we'll just jump in. When you're practicing and warming up, you generally want to focus on things that just get you going, right? So there's a lot of different theories. I'm going to start with the more formal way of doing this. And then what I'm really excited about also is later as we go, I'm going to talk about ways to open up your practice routine to things that are a little more exciting and fun. When you think about exercises and drills, sometimes people get a little bit scared of that. So that's okay, and I actually can relate to that. So I'm going to talk about, as we go, different ways to warm up and practice that aren't so formal. But let's start with the formal stuff, because it is fun. It's just that it sounds scary, right? So the first thing we have on the list here is rhythm, all right? Rhythm, single note and scales. So your rhythm is going to be so crucial for your playing, because if you ask professional musicians, they'll tell you usually that the most important thing is your feel. And feel is kind of a fancy word for your sense of rhythm and also how the music makes you feel. Okay, so we've got a metronome here behind me, and we're going to start with single notes. All right, so this is a great way to warm up. We're going to do whole notes, half notes, triplets, eighth notes, eighth note triplets, 16th notes, and 16th note triplets. I'm going to do it on the open E string. Okay, you're welcome to follow along, or just check out the Patreon later and I'll have it all written out for you. So ready? Single note E string, every rhythm I just described. 1, 2, 3, whole note. I'll do 2 of each. Now here's a half note. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now we're going to do quarter note. Quarter note is very important. You don't want to just brush over this stuff. How's your quarter note pulse? How does it feel? You can also do scales. C major. All down picks. Very important. The best musicians in the world will focus on this. Chords too. It should be somewhat relaxing because your feel should not be stressed. This is a great warm-up, just quarter notes. I doing now? I'm improvising, which is kind of what we're going to get to later. Okay, quarter note. All right, ready to move on to triplets? Hey, Jonathan. All right, triplets. This is called 3/2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Notice how I'm slapping 2, the metronome. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Can't do it both at the same time. Okay? These are called triplets. Okay. Don't skip rhythm. It's so crucial. Let's do, all right. Hey, Don. Hey, yeah, good to see you guys. Let's do some eighth notes, all right? One, two, three, four. We're doing straight eighth notes. B string. G string. Now, the trick here is, can you make the up? Obviously, we're doing alternate picking. Not to exclude the finger pickers here. You can also do this with your fingers with your I and M. But for the pick, we want the upstroke to sound the same as the downstroke. And what happens as a beginner is usually the upstroke will sound a little weak, right? Or like different or not as loud. So we want to fix that. Consistency, smoothness. Okay, ready for eighth note triplets? Here we go. Triplet, 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 triplet. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Every beat gets 3. Actually a lot of fun. Once you get going, I think you'll enjoy this kind of stuff because you can kind of use it as an improvisational tool. Within a scale. And when you limit yourself, sometimes you actually unleash quite a bit of creativity because you're not overwhelmed by all the options. You're doing triplets. That's all you're doing. All right, we're almost done. Let's do 16th notes. 1 E and a. 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. Okay. Finally, 16th note triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, I can't even do it that fast. I can't even count it that fast. Hopefully I can play it. Ah, come on. Okay. So that's a little tricky, and there's no reason to rush into that. Now that's about as far as I'll go. 16th note triplets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's six notes per beat. So nothing wrong with slowing the metronome down considerably and basically doing it at a tempo that's comfortable for you. But the reason part of the reason I'm doing this stream is because I have private students, And a couple of them occasionally will ask, hey, what should I do to warm up or practice? And this is something that I really recommend, right? You want to look at it's called subdivisions. So if we divide the beat, can you comfortably alternate between 1 note per beat, that's a quarter note, 2 notes per beat, that's an eighth note, 3 notes per beat, that's a triplet, 4 notes per beat, that's a 16th note. Let's skip 5 for now. We're not going too advanced for now. And then 6 notes per beat, that's a 16th note triplet. Okay, so getting that down both with single note and with scales would be something I would recommend, and chords. You know, okay, like a lot of jazz rhythm is just a real solid quarter note groove. Okay, Freddie Green from Count Basie's orchestra can attest to that, right? Basically just strummed quarter notes his whole life and is known as one of the best rhythm guitarists there is. All right, ready for number 2? So that was a very right hand heavy exercise. Let's look at the left hand. Okay, we need to warm up our left hand. So, and feel free to say hello. Nice to hear from you guys. It's been a while since we've done a live stream. Life has been hectic. It's been a crazy summer. So let's take a look at number 2. So number 2, if I remember correctly, yeah, it's going to be all about patterns with scales, both diatonic and pentatonic. All right, diatonic and pentatonic. So what do we mean by that? Well, we've got a diatonic scale would be 7 notes at a time, 7 notes per octave. Pentatonic would be 5 notes. It's important to know that they're kind of coming from the same scale source, though. If you play an A minor pentatonic, know that you have the diatonic minor scale just by adding a couple notes. Same parent scale of A minor. So why don't we start with A minor, and we're going to do 3 up, okay? 3 notes up. That's the pattern. Then you just start on the next scale degree, which would be, so we started on the root, then we would start on the 2nd scale degree, go up 3. Then we would start on the next scale degree, which would be the flat 3. Okay. Now what ends up happening is you're going up 3 and then you're going down 1 to start on the next scale degree. So it would sound something like this. Then you would descend. Now, the first pattern I learned, probably, that was really impactful was from my jazz improv class in junior college when I was 19 or so, or 20, I guess. And it was the minor pentatonic pattern of 3 up. I'm sorry, 3 up, 4 up. And then descending. So that's going up 4 notes, and then you would start on the 2nd note of the scale, which is this note. You go up 4 and you continue. That was taught to me by Bennett Friedman, who is the jazz improv teacher at Santa Rosa Junior College. Incredible jazz saxophonist, and he said that for 30 or 40 years he's done that exercise every day. And if you didn't believe him, all you'd have to do is simply open your ears anytime you were in class, and you'd hear him in his office playing that exercise, and it'd be coming through the walls. He'd be doing it fast. Saxophone, just killing it. So his life. He would do it in all 5 modes. Major. He would do it in the other modes of pentatonic, which we're not going to talk about, starting on different notes, going through different keys. But just getting you started on it. So that would be 4 up. Now, one thing my private guitar teacher told me, Randy Vincent, who has a bunch of great jazz guitar books you should check out. Randy Vincent, he teaches guitar at Sonoma State, where I got my double bachelor degree in music. Studied with him for 6 or 7 years. He was the private teacher of Julian Lage, who's one of the best jazz guitarists alive today. He showed me this thing where you can reverse the direction of the second half of this exercise. So if I take a G major scale in the E shape, and I want to go up 3 and up 3 again, that's great. We already did that in a triplet feel. We can also reverse the second half and go down the second half. So it would be like this. See, so I'm going up 3, then down 3, then up 3, down 3. Any shape. Any scale. You can do it with pentatonic too. Alright. Now you can go 3 down and then 3 up. So instead of going 3 up and then 3 down, I could start by descending from here and then going up. So it'll be. So it'll be. Very similar to the last one. You can also go down each time, every time. So you could go down, then down. All right, so. And then you can go up for your descending part. So it'll be. Sorry. I don't practice this enough. I don't practice that one. All right, so does that make sense? Scale patterns. The other really common pattern that I use, there's thousands of patterns, right? And this is what jazz musicians do all day, at least some of them in their development stage. The other thing you can do is you can skip a note. Very, very powerful stuff. That creates third intervals. So if I take, say, let's take a D minor scale. Okay. If I skip the second note, I have a third right there. Now I'll go to the second note and skip a note. So it'll be. Descend, skipping notes every time. What's really fun is to reverse the direction of the second half. A little more musical. You can do that with pentatonic as well. So if I did D minor pentatonic, this shape right here, I can skip a note. Let's do this shape. Sorry. Now I'll reverse the second half. Is that making sense? This is strange. We have more than double the amount of likes as people watching. So, who knows? 2 people watching. Okay. And I'm one of them. So, hello to one of you out there. It's a weekday. What are you going to do? Should we move on? We can also just end it here if you guys want to. I understand people are busy. Hey, Jonathan. All right, you're still here? Good. Then it's just you and me, buddy. Let's do this. Arpeggios would be something we can do next. Okay? So we've got some arpeggios. We've got fixed position in octaves. Okay? Good. We've got a couple people still here. So fixed position in octaves. So we obviously have major and minor, right? And then we have dominant 7, minor 7, and major 7. So we've really got 5 arpeggios we can do. So we have 2 ways of doing arpeggios as a practice routine. We can do fixed position, meaning one shape, like for instance, if I'm in the E shape of G major or G minor, I could do all my arpeggios here. So for instance, a major arpeggio in a fixed position would be if you're a private student of mine, you'll know that I also call these chord tones. Very, very crucial to know, because when we're soloing or when we're improvising or just playing, we want to know where the 1s, 3s, and 5s are. So that would be a fixed position. But what's really exciting is when we do it with octaves. And then we can see how the guitar works. Guitar is hard to visualize because we have these adjacent strings with tunings and stuff. But if we take it in an octave, it would look like this. 1, 3, 5, move up 2 frets. 1, 3, 5, move up 3 frets. 1, 3, 5. When I learned about that, it blew my mind. Okay, so don't skip the fixed positions because those are great too, right? Here's D position. Here's C position. Here's A position. Here's G position. But we can also just say we're going to do octaves. Okay, let's keep it rolling. Let's do minor. Here's fixed position, G minor. Okay, let's do D minor position. C minor. I'm sorry. A minor. G minor. But what's also a little more exciting possibly is the octave. Okay, so I'm going up 2 frets, same shape, up 3 frets. See that? Those are our octaves right there. We're just starting from the index each time. So there we go. We can take that approach to every single arpeggio, whether it be major or minor as we just did, or we can do dominant 7, minor 7, major 7. All right. So let's run through these. We can do dominant 7, G7 in a fixed position. Very important for blues. Basically, blues artists will use dominant 7 arpeggios all over in between their minor pentatonic phrasings. If I go, that's the 5 and flat 7 of a G7. So I just basically played G7 dominant arpeggios all over the neck, and it sounded pretty bluesy. So I kind of tell my students to go ahead and run your dominant 7 arpeggios everywhere. Now we can do these in an octave movement as well, just as we were doing with the other ones. So we can do, okay, or we could do it. Let's do C7. Or here. Okay. A little more tricky with the dominant arpeggios. All right. Oh, thanks, Luke. That's funny. I appreciate that. It's probably because it's a new channel. It's only been around for a year. But I appreciate your support. And thank you, Jonathan. Hey, Julia. All right, so I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Good to see you. We can do minor 7. Here's a fixed position in the E minor shape of G minor. That would be 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7. We can also move that up the octaves. Okay. See what I'm doing there? Here's my root. And I did a 1 flat 3 5 7. Now I moved up 2 frets to the root again, index finger. 1 flat 3 5 flat 7, back to root. A little tricky going down. Thank you, Deepakar. Okay, so there's one more to go. It's major 7. We're just going to stick with G, but I recommend doing a different key every day. We're getting to a really fun part here, circle of fourths, so stick around for that. We just got to get through this. So major 7, once again, fixed or octave, either way, or both. Okay, so what I'd like to say now is, okay, I wrote a couple things on the side here. We still haven't gotten to relative major and minor, but that's okay. I wrote 6 things on the side. Okay, so because there's just so much to do, I wrote, this is going to be kind of absurd because you're going to see everything upside down or sideways, but on the bottom here I wrote looper, circle of fourths, sight reading, and improvise. All right, so just more things to think about. Looper, circle of fourths, sight reading, and improvise. Now the reason I wrote those down is because this is going to get a little bit monotonous if you only do this. So let's talk about other things. Let's open it up a little bit. Okay, I gave you a bunch of formal things to practice, whether it's rhythm, subdivisions, scale patterns, both major, minor, pentatonic, arpeggios, fixed position, octaves, major, minor 7, dominant 7. But we also have to talk about things that are not so easily categorized. I have greatly improved from using a looper in my practice routine. All right. So we'll start with a looper and then we'll go into circle of fourths. So good to see you all. Arturo says he's going to jot all this down. That's a good idea. Also, I will post a full lesson of this on the Patreon with tabs and notes at the $5 a month level. And I really want to thank all the patrons. It's so heartwarming to have people supporting the channel, getting access to the tabs, it is a lot of work to write all those tabs out, so I really appreciate the support. I'm a full-time teacher at a community college, so I'm always trying to steal away and do this because I love working on the channel and the Patreon. So every patron is helping me a lot, sort of keep it going. So thanks for all that. Now, let's say I want to practice. Let's pick one of these things and practice it over a loop. Let's practice scale pattern going up 3 notes, all right? But I want to practice it over G major. But I can create a loop, a diatonic loop over G major. How about a 1, 6, 4, 5? Now I'm going to, these are all in the key of G major. And basically I will do a pattern over this loop. And then we'll talk about what to do from there, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to change the rhythm up. Now I'll go 3 up, 3 down. Okay, let me turn this off for a sec. So what I'm getting at here is that I'm starting with a pattern. I watched a great interview of Pat Metheny on Rick Beato's channel. Rick Beato is an amazing YouTuber. Check him out. Pat Metheny is one of my favorite guitarists there is. And he has an hour and 45-minute interview. Oh, by the way, you know, I should say, I'm really disheartened today. Charlie Watts passed away today, the drummer of Rolling Stones. And the news just broke today. So my condolences to his family and to the Rolling Stones. Just monumental drummer, incredible drummer. So listen to some Rolling Stones, listen to some Charlie Watts today, and I know I'm going to tonight when I'm done with teaching. He's just you know, it's a huge loss. So just wanted to mention that. You'll probably hear about it from other people as well. So R.I.P. Charlie Watts. His music lives on forever. Back to Pat Metheny, he was saying that his practice routine, he works on ideas, okay? He lets an idea go. So if we have an idea like 3 up, we can use that as a musical idea to basically improvise off of, all right? So if I don't want to just stay in a box even when I'm warming up. So I'm going to now use the 3 up, 3 down idea as a starting place. And we'll start to improvise off that. I'm switching to G major pentatonic. See how much more fun this can be if you kind of open it up a little bit. Arpeggio. If I follow the chord progression, that's another layer of difficulty, but I can do this with each scale, each chord. G, E minor, C major. Let's have a little fun and just loop a couple things here. So I kind of looped a little 3 up, 3 down idea. Now I'm going to harmonize with it. Should we try 3-part? Hold on. Whoops. Sorry, didn't mean to turn it off. Okay, I got it. It's hard. Here we go. There we go. 3 up and 3 down. So see what's happening here? I'm basically creating something a little more musical and spur of the moment based on a musical idea. Whether it's 3 notes up, 3 notes down, doesn't really matter what the idea is. Anything can become fun and musical and interesting. So, you know, it's not like it's the most amazing thing in the world, but it's pretty cool, right? So that would be using a looper. All right, now, what would somebody like a jazz musician or somebody like John Coltrane or Miles Davis do as a practice routine? Let's talk about that. You would use the circle of fourths. All right. Hey, Vedant. And Julia says, actually, I got a looper, but haven't really found a way of using it. Okay, well, cool. Hopefully I can help you with that. So we can also do circle of fourths. All right. I do have a couple videos on this. I probably should make some more. It sounds scary, but it's not that bad. If we do a musical idea, say I go from on a C major, okay? If I do an idea over a major chord, I can now take that idea up the circle of fourths and go through all 12 keys. So the next would be F, and then it would be B flat, and then E flat. Now the next would be A flat, but we've run out of room, so we have to go down the octave. D flat, G flat, B, E. We've run out of room. A. Let's just go down an octave again to D, G, and we're back to C. Fast. I'm just doing it for expedience sake. So any idea you could basically do, and that's what we would also do in jazz improv class in college. You would basically say, all right, well, we would, for instance, just like, let's do a Dorian scale in the circle of fourths. All right. Okay, that would be a Dorian scale. So let's see. Actually, no, let's not do scale. Let's do an arpeggio up a circle of fourths. So, C minor 7, F minor 7, 2, 3, 4, B flat minor 7, 2, 3, 4. Really gets you around the guitar. 2, 3, 4. The guitar is tuned in fourth, so it's usually the same fret up a string. Down to E. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Back to C minor. That's all 12 keys. You can do that with any arpeggio or any scale, any riff, any phrase, any idea. What else do we got? Sight reading and improvise. Sight reading, if you've never learned how to read on guitar, I highly recommend it. I don't require my students to do it, but depends how much time you have. If you can learn how to read on guitar, it's a good idea, because then you can put any piece of music in front of you and learn music, outside of your comfort zone. So I'll put some Bach out there. I'll sight read some of that. I'll put some Charlie Parker tunes. I'll put some transcribed solos in front of me. I'll put some Tárrega or some Spanish guitar, maybe some Brazilian, and just read. Okay, and it's I think it's so much fun. It's like playing a video game. You try to follow the notes and do it in real time like you're running on a screen or something. I probably just completely butchered that idea, but I've had musicians agree with me that it's kind of like a video game. When you're sight reading, it's like playing Guitar Hero. You're trying to hit the right notes. So I love sight reading. Great way to boost your practice routine. Just sight read something per day. One thing per day. Another thing is improvise. We've kind of been touching on this. If we take an idea, a pattern or a scale or an arpeggio or a chord progression or a loop, can you improvise off of it? All right, so if I just I want to get better at A minor today. All right, just start small. Let's create a little A minor rhythm. And just loop that. Now I can say I have the A minor pentatonic scale, but now I want to improvise on it. Why isn't this a warm-up? This is a warm-up or a practice routine. It doesn't need to be by the book. Just make some music. Patterns. See? So, sometimes I feel like that doesn't get said enough with guitar educators and YouTubers is, hey, we can practice scales and arpeggios until we're blue in the face, but at a certain point, you don't want to sound like you're practicing when you're performing. If I go up to a gig and I just start going like this, or if I just do that all day, people are going to be like, doesn't sound very melodic or musical. So you don't want to only practice things linearly up and down. You want to create music. You want to say, what if I mess up the notes on purpose? What if I mess up my fingerings on purpose? I have this fingering, but I also have this fingering, but I'm going to just go between the two. I don't even know what shape I'm in. See, I'm just purposely messing up the fingerings, so it creates a challenge. I have to solve the problem of, can I survive this in an uncomfortable setting where I don't have the fingerings memorized? I don't even know what shape I'm in. Doing that purposefully in your practice and warm-up routines is going to be powerful. All right, 2 more things, and then we're done. I know this is a long one. I haven't even played any songs, but we're packing you full of stuff. So once again, yeah, R.I.P. Charlie Watts. A sad day for rock and music and the earth. So listen to some Rolling Stones. Just such a monster drummer. So okay, I'm going to save relative major and minor for another day, and we're going to talk about two more things. By the way, remember to subscribe, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and check out the Patreon. And I really appreciate it. So we can do two more things. We can transcribe, okay? Another scary word, meaning we can just put on some music and just learn it without any help. No help from me, no help from tabs. Just try to learn it. Now, there are varying levels of this. There's a spectrum of this. There is really being, rewinding it 10, 20 times and getting the exact notes. That's what I do for the channel. Or there's things not as intense, meaning just put on it and just put on the record and just try to find the key, kind of, and just try to jam along with it. A lot of my students have had pretty good success with that. You put on some Beatles or something and you're like, yeah, this is pretty much in G. I don't know every chord, I don't know the scale, but I can kind of jam along with it, find the notes. Really good thing to do. You can add that to your practice routine. And if you want to be really particular, you can transcribe it, you can even write it down, or you can record yourself playing it, whatever. All right, the last thing. Yeah, the timing of my live classes. I don't have a consistent schedule. Tuesdays might start working for me, so if people like this time, I might be able to start doing Tuesdays. My schedule is so hectic right now. I have full-time job at a community college, and I also have my own students. So I don't know if I can commit to a schedule of live streams. So it may just have to be whenever it happens, and then these lessons will post. So I know that's maybe not the most organized approach, but for now, the channel's not too huge. Eventually, we might have a schedule. The last thing I want to say is transpose. If you know a song in G, can you play it in D? All right. For instance, I was playing Beatles in My Life earlier in G. Man, sorry. Tuning is going all over the place. So there's a G and D chord. So if let's say I want to play that in D. Getting out of your comfort zones. There are This is challenging for me, right? It's good. 1 chord, 5 chords, 6 chord, 1 chord, 4 chord, 4 minor, 1 chord, 6 chord. Some are living in my life. I love them all. So anytime you push yourself out of your comfort zone, you can basically improve. In the interview I was talking about with Pat Metheny, he said that he'll play tunes in all 12 keys for 4 or 5 hours. Now he's the extreme. I wouldn't say you should just start doing that right away. He's been working on guitar 6 hours a day for his whole adult life, right? But it's something to consider. I mean, if you spend 15 minutes transposing the songs you know into other keys, think of how great that would be. It's easy to practice the stuff that you're good at. And that's maybe where I'll leave you with, is the purpose of a practice and warm-up routine is not to reinforce your strengths necessarily, although that's great too. But it's to explore areas that are going to push you. Okay, I need to do this myself. Every time I teach, I become a better player because I remind myself what I need to do. And so it's something that it's a lifelong mission. You'll never be done. And I think that'll do it for today. So I'm going to make a Patreon lesson on this with tabs and specific exercises. But yeah, this was fun. Hopefully for you as well. It's been great to have your support as always. Any post everywhere? Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks, Deepakar. I'll find a way to maybe post before I go live. Maybe I'll start doing that on the Instagram. You can follow me at MT Guitar Lessons on the Instagram, and maybe I'll try to post before the live streams on there. So follow me there. Yeah, right. Yeah, and I could also do a YouTube announcement on the community tab where, you know, you'll see those posts that are not videos. They're just like a photo of somebody. So I can do that on YouTube and on Instagram. And gosh, that would be a great idea because hardly anyone was here with the first 20 minutes. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Julia. Hey, you guys are solving my problems. I appreciate it. Thanks for looking out for me. So, check out the Patreon if you'd like. Yeah, I know, right? 10K subscribers is coming up. Gosh, what should we do for 10K? For 5K, we did a lesson giveaway, which was a lot of fun. So I'll have to think about it. Maybe another lesson giveaway, but it would be cool to do something fun. So, chord progressions. Yeah, I've been thinking about that. Good. I appreciate that comment. Yeah, chord progression lesson would be good. So look for that. You know, I noticed the theory lessons don't get a lot of views on the channel, so it's nice to hear that you want that because the songs, they get searched for on YouTube, so they tend to get more views. But I want to look out for my subscribers, so I'm going to post more theory videos. Even if it doesn't get a lot of views, that's okay. All right, so anyway, a lot of things to chew on here. Go ahead and rewatch this if you need to make it all sink in. Yeah, live concert. I should do some more live concerts. Yeah, it's fun to play and not teach all the time. So I will do some more where I just play, and hopefully that'll be entertaining for you. I'll prepare a little set list. And have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. It's great to connect with you all, and I appreciate you just interacting with me and being part of the community here. All right? So, rock on. Happy practicing. And good to see you all. We'll see you next time, everybody.